Well, welcome back. This is the final video for the 75 Dodge Dart Sport by MPC, and I just wanted to get this in before the end of the year. Step number 12 is the last step where we attach the chassis to the body and then add all the accessories. And you'll notice here in the instructions on the chassis there looks like two little pillars that attach under the body, under the trunk. Now, when you look at the actual parts, under the trunk there's two circular tabs here. On the top of the chassis there's two raised circular tabs that these two should fit together. However, when you put the chassis inside the body and it just drops in, let me see if I can do this here. This just drops in and it fastens to the firewall at the front, but at the back you can't really see it very well here, but there's quite a distance between the chassis and the body. Get a light in there. Those two tabs are not going to touch. I believe what holds the body to the chassis at the back here is when you put the bumper on. Let me get it in the picture here. It's got a tab on it. This little tab sticking out will go in there like that, and then that would clamp on there and hold on to the chassis. Well, I'm trying to finish this build up before the end of the year. It's Sunday today, December 30th. 2018. I got 2 days, well, today and tomorrow, to finish this up. All I've got left to do is put on the exhaust pipes and the side door mirrors. I've got one side pipe on here. I've used some clear glue on this point here and some clear glue on this point, and as well as, once it was in place, I put some, to me, extra thin glue because it's touching the body frame there, just to seal that, so I'm hoping that'll hold. Then I glued, well, before that I glued this piece here onto the manifold and tried to line up this other piece. This was glued onto the exhaust pipe here before I put it on the car. So then once I got these in place, then I just put some extra thin glue on there. So now I'm waiting for that to dry, and I have to do the other side as well. So I have this piece here that goes onto the exhaust manifold, and then this will attach to the rocker panel, and then this piece is attached here already, and then this will attach onto this, which will be attached on here onto the exhaust manifold. So I'm just going to let this piece dry because it's a little shaky at the moment. It's a little tricky trying to get all these angles in here, get everything lined up, but it's looking pretty good so far. Then I'll just touch this up with a bit of paint and call it a weld. Then once those are on, that should be done. And then I'm going to do the side door mirrors and call it finished. You'll see that I left the mufflers and the exhaust pipe here because it's molded in. Sorry, this part here is molded in. This is a separate part here, the mufflers and the tailpipes. I left those on because it looks kind of interesting, and also because I guess you could have it either way. You could have it switched from exterior exhaust to the outside. I just figured I'd just leave them on. Another thing that I've noticed here on the back, there's two little pins here that are holding up the tailpipes. You can see that very well. I'll try and get a light on it. And there's no holes for those there, so they kind of raised it up. It raises it up quite high. It's not working. So I would recommend to do this again, that I would either drill a hole and push it in farther, or cut the little tab off, some of the tab off of the bottom of that little pin. It's attached to the tailpipe. However, there's a piece of sprue attached to the a piece of plastic attached to the tailpipe right there. I would cut that off or else drill a hole and set it down farther into the body because they stick down pretty low. They're almost dragging on the ground. I may snip that off and re-glue it before I finish because it does look kind of funny like that. Other than that, it's coming along not too badly. So we got the exhaust system hooked up here to the side pipes. Everything went well. Got everything in place, and I touched up the contact points here with some flat black and some gunmetal on here, so it all flows nicely. And while that was drying, I went in under here and I cut off those little tabs that I showed you earlier and lowered the tailpipes down and cemented them in place. I think that's going to look a lot better that way. So things are looking well under there. The only thing I have to do now is put the mirrors on, and it's done.